Hello, I want to talk to you today about something that's exciting that's happened recently to Sussex Police. Sussex Police were awarded White Ribbon status last weekend at the Lewes Music Festival. And what that means is White Ribbon is a global campaign which encourages men to stand up and speak out against violence to women. And it's quite a coup for Sussex Police because we are now the first force in England to actually gain this award. And it was presented to myself and to the Chief Constable at the festival in Lewes last weekend by the Chief Executive, Chris Green, of White Ribbon. But what it means for the police across Sussex is that this whole idea of actually taking an obligation to stand up and speak out against violence against women is embedded in the culture across Sussex Police. What I want to see in 3 years' time is when I stop a police officer on the street and say, what does White Ribbon mean to you? That he or she actually understands that it's about our obligation to speak out and actually say violence against women has got to stop and it's not acceptable. So that was really great, and to follow it up we even had a letter of congratulations from the Policing Minister, Damian Green, which was an added bonus for us all. At the moment we're also in the middle of something called 10 Days Live. In the interest of transparency and opening the police up so that members of the public can actually see what policing's all about, Sussex Police are currently running a whole series of events over 10 days to allow and invite the public behind the scenes. So you can watch action going on via Twitter, via Facebook and via the Sussex Police website as well. But I was very excited because yesterday I joined the launch day, which was held at our training event, our training centre in King's Standing, just outside Crowborough. And I joined 100 local children who'd applied to join a competition. And they were finalists in the competition, and they had to say what they would do if they were a police officer for a day. So there we were early in the morning with 100 children separated into different teams, and they joined roads police officers and understood about what happens at a collision site, and they'd set up a proper collision between a car and a motorcyclist, and it was always laid out in front of them. And the young people had to understand what had happened, who they felt was in the right or the wrong, and work it all out for themselves and learn what it is that the police do when they're first on the scene. Another exciting part was they took part in public order riots. So they saw how the police actually got to police public order, and they were allowed to throw things at police officers in full riot gear. And as you can imagine, that caused a lot of excitement. They also took part in forensics, so they had to give their fingerprints and their footprints and understand what goes on behind scenes of crimes. And then they were allowed to go out on 4x4s and look for a missing person, so to see how it is that police that sort of area. So really it gave them a whole idea of what really goes on. It's not just about walking up and down a street and patrolling your neighbourhood. There's a lot more to policing. And what was really exciting was they were joined by lots and lots of the young police cadets who are our young people volunteers, and they were there to help the other young people take part. And there was a lot of stimulated conversation at lunchtime over the hamburgers, as you can imagine, and many of them came away saying actually they would really like to volunteer as cadets, or perhaps even think about joining the police at a later date. So a really successful day, and this launched the whole 10-day event where members of the public can now go behind the scenes. Even Sussex Police headquarters will be open. You'll be able to go up there and see what it's like at HQ. You'll be able to go around certain of the police stations. Brighton will be open, Chichester, Hastings and so on, and really get a behind the scenes look at what policing in Sussex is all about, because there's an awful lot more to it than meets the eye. I thought you might like to see the view outside my office that I get every day. I'm very lucky to work in Lewes. It's quite splendid actually. You can see the sort of Lewes White Cliffs and the skate park as well, which, as you can imagine, at the moment in school holidays is extremely busy. But it reminds me that actually I meet lots of the public every day in this job, and one of the questions that they ask a lot is, how do you hold the Chief Constable to account? What exactly goes on in your meetings with him? And this morning we had for the very first time our monthly meeting with the Chief Constable, his senior team and my senior team, and we webcast it live, and you'll be able to see it downloaded onto our website, which is sussex-pcc.gov.uk. And every month now, our performance and accountability meetings will be broadcast and webcast live online and then available to view later as well, because it's really important that members of the public can actually see the questions they ask me then being asked of the Chief Constable, and most importantly what he intends to do about things and the plans that he puts into place to actually tackle some of the issues that are raised. So you can see behind me the map of Sussex. It is a huge area, 1.6 million people live here. Policing it is an enormous exercise, very complex. There's a large policing budget, 250 odd million pounds for the policing budget across Sussex, and 3 big divisional areas that we cover. So East Sussex, West Sussex and Brighton and Hove, the city. I look forward to joining you next time, or you joining me, but in the meantime, please keep those letters, those emails, those phone calls, keep tweeting me, keep contacting me on Facebook, because we need your feedback here in the office. It's always great to speak to members of the public, and if you phone up and I'm in and I'm not in a meeting, I will always answer your call, so please do get in touch.